Well, it's Uncommon Fossil, and they're taking a look at a Dodrio Venomoth deck, right? Bayonet's fun with the item lock, but in a lot of ways, Venomoth can be the better item lock card. It attacks for 1 energy, it's a one grass energy, and then Perplexing Powder does 30 damage, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused, and they can't play items during their next turn. So that's really good. So item lock, a little bit of damage, and they're confused, which means they might not do any damage to you. Now, they're confused. They can retreat still. That's the downside, but they have to manually retreat, attach, and retreat, and that can be very effective. So it's got potential, the deck, I will say, although, and I have been working on this list, and I think the list is in decent shape, but I will say the deck is limited in upside and a bit inconsistent. So try it for fun is what I'll say. Don't. It's not a top tier deck, but it is a fun deck. And then it's paired with a Dodrio. Both cases, the Venomoth and the Dodrio are 4/4 line. Dodrio is a really nice single prize 1 energy attacker. Ballistic Beak does 10 damage for 1 colorless and 30 more for each damage counter on this Pokemon to help get damage as well as a draw engine. It's got the zooming draw ability. Once during your turn, you may put a damage counter on this Pokemon, and if you do, you draw a card. So we want to get a bunch of Dodrios evolved early, get a Venomoth or two up, kind of hopefully slow down the opponent with Venomoth while we get up the Dodrios. The Dodrios can get up to 280. That means we're one-shotting like a Giratina V-Star, an Arceus V-Star, a lot of Stage 1 EXs. So very, very nice there. At one point, I've been working on the list. So just kind of, I had Radiant Alakazam, which moves damage counters, which has value, but I don't think that's really what this list wants. So I cut that. And I don't have any other Radiant Pokemon. I just didn't feel like that's what the deck really wants. I could play, I will say, if for deck ideas, you could play Radiant Venusaur. At the end of your turn, you may use this ability to draw the F4 cards in hand, because if you're not playing, that's not bad, actually, because a lot of times you end up with almost no cards in hand, so drawing to 4 at the end of your turn actually is good. You can even potentially attack with it, although you're probably not going to do it, but that's a nice option as well. So that could go in the deck. And then ultimately I put in a 1/1 Bibarel line just to get a little more draw, because that's getting set up early can be an issue, and then keeping things sustained can be an issue. So the deck is it's a deck that is a fun deck that you're playing with a lot of hope, I will say. 8 basic energies. More energies would be good, I will say, because sometimes you just don't have the energies at hand. But I've been working on the counts of things, and I do think 8's probably where the deck needs to be. 9 would be nice, I will say. I'm not sure what I'd cut to put it in. So I do play 1 Salvatore in the deck, just 1 copy. It does play for Pokégear. Now, for Pokégear, if you're not familiar, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, reveal a supporter card, put it in your hand. So if you go second, since you have the 4 Pokégear, you have a chance of getting Salvatore. It's still not great, but it's a lot. It's a fun play when it happens, and even mid game sometimes it's useful. You can get that Venomoth evolved that first turn you play. What it does, if you are not familiar with it, you search your deck for a card that has no abilities and evolves from one of your Pokemon and put it onto that Pokemon to evolve it. Now, that means we can evolve Venonat into Venomoth, because the Stage 2 Bibarel ability, Stage 2 Dodrio ability, but Venomoth, we can play down a Venonat, evolve directly into Venomoth that turn, and get them item locked. So it is kind of a nice little option there. The other supporters, keeping things fairly simple. 4 Iono, just really good, and 3 research, just again really good. It just helps to set up. Since we're a single prize deck, we're doing some researches and whatnot. Play 3 super rods. Depending on the matchup, we need to get back our Pokemon. We need to get back energy. Could go to two rods. That's a possibility. I've kind of been between 2 and 3 rods. When I was playing 2 rods, though, I just felt it wasn't quite enough, which is why I've settled on 3. Getting Pokemon in play, 4 copies of Buddy-Buddy Poffin. All of the basics are 70 HP or less, so Buddy-Buddy Poffin is good. If we played the Radiant Pokemon, of course, that we couldn't get it that way. We do play 4 Ultra Ball because we have the evolutions, and and that could also get a Radiant Pokemon as well. So 4 Ultra Balls. Discarding 2 from hand doesn't feel great, generally speaking, but we have Ultra Ball, right? It's certainly like Evo Incense, if Evolution Incense, if that was a format, would make this deck a lot better. There is the A spec that searches for 3 evolutions, and I think there is actually supporter, right, that searches for 3 non-rule box evolutions, if I recall, or I don't remember what it says exactly. I gotta say, but maybe there's a different supporter for that. But we have to get it into hand, so I'm not sure that makes things better. It is a thought, though. All right, we play 2 Switch cards, 1 Prime Catcher. What else do we play? 2 Earthen Vessels, because we need to get energies into hand, right? You could just replace maybe one with, say, an extra energy or something else, but again, getting energies into hand wasn't happening enough, so I decided to drop in the second Earthen Vessel, and I think that makes the deck work a lot better. 4 Counter Catcher. We don't play boss. We're falling behind in prizes a lot. So Counter Catcher is really good in this deck. Yeah, I like it a lot. You could maybe play, it's a deck with Pokestop and with limited supporters. You could play you could play Pokestop in the deck as well. But anyway, 4 Counter Catchers. What else do I have here? And then Prime Catcher, like I said, and then 2 copies of Damage Pump. This is the last card here. So you move 2 damage counters from one of your Pokemon to your other Pokemon any way you like. So what generally we're doing is we're moving damage onto the Dodrio. That's an extra 60 damage per damage pump. So because we want to at some point knock out a multi-prize one-shot a two-prize Pokemon, either a basic EX or even better, an evolved 2-prize or like a V-Star or stage 1 EX, and we might need to move those damage counters. So obviously getting it, you get it into hand when you need it, but it's a very good card. So I do like that in the deck a lot. So yeah, I've refined the deck a good bit. I think it's pretty close to where it should be. Maybe the Radiant Venusaur, maybe. Although this is a more reliable build, so with the 1/1 Bibarel. So I think, look, this is the 60. If you have suggestions, do let me know. I think it's a fun deck to play. The win rate, this is the type of deck where I put a fair amount of work into it, kind of getting the 60 to be to a decent place, getting to know the ins and outs of the deck, and it's maybe a 50% win rate deck. So look, I'd like a deck to be, for a rogue deck that's a bit, a bit out there. I'd still like it to kind of be able to win it like feel like I get a 60% win rate. Once I get it refined, I don't think this deck is here, but it is a fun deck, so I want to present it. With the gameplay, I think the first game I'm going to play in the video is going to be with a different build before I adjusted it, but I think it just showed the deck off. And all in all, I've been working on the list. It's, like I said, it's okay. It's fun. So, like I said, if you want to just play a rogue deck, have some fun, do give it a try, and, just play some Pokemon, have some fun, and take care. All right, let's see what happens here. Last game, I didn't set up. I've made adjustments to the list to make it more consistent. Perhaps I need to go further with it. Perhaps this is a deck that's just not going to work too. That's a real possibility with this deck. It's an idea that's a bit, just not good enough. I wouldn't look. This is not going to be a top tier deck. I don't think there's any way it is. I think it can be a reasonably effective deck, is what I'd say. Dodrio, Alakazam, okay. Iono. So I go first. So they're gonna knock out my active, I guess. Maybe I should set up Radiant Alakazam. Maybe. So it's a mill deck. Okay, how do I want to work this? This isn't terrible. All right, so don't bench Radiant Alakazam. I assume it's the Great Tusk Mill, in which case Radiant Alakazam can't attack, so that wouldn't be good. So keep the bench small. They could play Erica's Invitation, and that will make me very unhappy. I do play 2 Switch in deck. I want to attach to Doduo. Venomoth is good though because it confuses my opponent. And what's their weakness? Psychic. Okay, so that's not a factor. So Explorer's Guidance, yeah, Ancient. So Supporter, if they get a double turbo, they mill 4 cards and see what they mill. Heavy Ball might just get another Great Tusk into play. Yep. least into hand at the moment. I imagine it's coming onto the bench. I can't knock them out, but getting them item locked will be good, and it confuses them as well. So, okay. I mean, those were good cards for sure, but I will Iono not research here because, right, I don't want to speed up the milling process, and I just see one less card too. I need to set up, and I missed that, but I can retreat, so I will retreat now, and I do confuse them, which means half the time they're not going to mill, right? And that's a big deal too. I could drop down another Doduo, just, you know, let's see what's being milled. So damage pump, the rod, obviously rods are a big deal because that's my recovery card in the deck. So, and I have only play 8 energies, so I have to be careful about that, right? I play 3 rods in this deck, I think, so I'm okay. But I'm down 2 energies, so just be careful. I only have 6 more energies to go. And they might flip tails, which would be great, and they damage themselves. And yeah, and I need to get that Dodrio in play and start getting him powered up. Get damage on him is what needs to start happening, so that I can start smacking away on my opponent. So tails, so that's great. They don't mill, and they damage themselves. So that's what I want to see. I'll attach energies to the Doduo and just see what I draw here. So just attach energy, attack again, keep them item locked, keep them confused. Let's think. I need, if they flip tails, then I knock them out the following turn. If they flip heads, then it's 2 turns. Okay, now that obviously it's a lot more turns for them. So they milled the one. They're immune to special conditions. Well, I don't like that at all. Don't like that at all. That's right, I can't use that. So that's bad news. Very bad news. Because now they're not confused. So I forgot about that. So now, which that I always, because that generally this isn't a big deal. It gives you 60 HP, which is really why it's in the deck. But then they're immune to special conditions, and it's huge here, right? They haven't. Let's see. They've discarded 1. So I need to kind of gust something up from the bench, ideally. I shouldn't have used the Salvatore. I forgot. I can't evolve the Dodrio into Dodrio because it has an ability, right? So Salvatore, what was it? Just no abilities. Okay, so it can be a rule box Pokemon, I do believe. So what did I lose here? Just 1. Okay. I need to get that Dodrio into play. That's what needs to happen. So 2 more hits away from the knockout here. With him, this guy's got the tool, I imagine. I don't know. They probably can't recover the tool. They might. Actually, they could play Roseanne's backup in this deck because it recovers the special energy, which they like. So they didn't have a supporter last turn, so we'll see what happens here. Buddy-Buddy Poffin. Well, that's fine. I need to get Dodrio in play because he can then start one-shotting things. I will Iono. It may help them because they're having trouble because they're not hitting supporters themselves. So they're probably going to have a supporter this turn, but my counter catcher probably is completely useless this game, right? The rod is a really nice get too. I'll keep the rod for now. I could use, at some point I want to use the rod, I think. And I will just start getting this Dodrio powered up. Now, this Great Tusk is scary. Great if they use the second attack, right? They do 140, which one-shots either of my guys. I am resistant here. It's 140 with the double turbo, so Iono, that's fine. Wow. I mean, what's there? That's pretty crazy. Do they have energy? They have, okay, just trying to see, because with Sada's Vitality, do I want to get another, I think I want to get another Dodrio set up, because I think that's what I want to do too. Yeah. And I knocked this guy out. That's really nice. So take the first prize. Now they can use Counter Catcher. And at this point, if they Counter Catcher like Iono, it's bad. Yeah, I think one Venomoth is all I really want. They can't. Well, actually, they can't Counter Catcher because they're item locked. I take that back. They are item locked, so they can't use Counter Catcher. But they're getting. I guess they. I don't know. I'm a little confused by that play. I gotta say, I'm confused by that play. But okay, so they mill 4 there, which is good for them. That's definitely good for them. So let me get another attacker going here. I think I want to rod this. I will rod this turn. 1, 2. Energy is really what I need. I need an energy on this other Dodrio, so just want to. I obviously have to be careful with the drawing, but I need to be able to the goal is to be able to one-shot my opponent, right? I know as good as my hand gets smaller. At some point, they could hand trimmer me, right? 30. So this guy does 70 right now, so he does not get the knockout. So actually, they can't. So the good thing is with the item lock, they cannot item lock me, right? So, I mean, they can't use like hand clipper, hand trimmer, or whatever it is that I think I discard down to 5. If they have boss, they could. So they attack, they take the knockout. 30, 40. I do think I have knockout this turn though, right? Let's see, they're at 110. What am I doing now? I'm doing 100. So this is okie dokie. Do I want to get them an item lock again? I'm not certain about that. Let me just draw some cards. I need some energies. I will do this, just keep things going. I do have knockout now. That's great. I'll save the Iono, I guess. Actually, I'm going to Iono right now. A little concerned, right? Since I lose item lock this turn. That is a bit. I'm a little scared about that, right? Get to a smaller hand size is what I want to do here. Take the knockout. And I do one-shot them next turn. Well, I don't one-shot them if they have the tool next turn, right? I do play Damage Pump in the deck. I think they've milled one of those. I have 2 copies in the deck, I think, right? So I have 1 Damage Pump, potentially. I need to evolve here. And I might use Ultra Ball this turn. So Eerie, that's annoying. But I do have a Switch card. So... Oh no, Eerie. Sorry, it's not Erica's Invitation. Okay, well that's okay. Yeah, it's not. That's all right. So what did they get rid of? They got rid of the Switch card, which I get that. And what was the other card? So the Eerie, they got rid of Switch and the Rod. Yeah, I get those. I do want to get the Venomoth in play, though, is what I'll say. So it's not a terrible spot. I really need to get the... Okay. Now, the one thing is they dig through their deck pretty aggressively as well. If I were to get... Ooh, do I? All right, I need an energy. I can't research, right? I just can't research. So I'll do that. Maybe I should have kept the Counter Catcher. No, get rid of the Pokemon because another Erica's. No. Well, if they play Erica's Invitation, so evolve here, draw. They didn't have energy to attack, so that's very nice. Salvatore. So I could have Salvatored that turn, which would have been a reason to. So I will. I'll end turn. So that's not great. Missing, just missing that one turn does hurt a lot. So 5. So right now I'm doing 160. So I'm one-shotting without their tool. I will be able to one-shot them eventually with the tool pretty soon. So they should be able to attack this turn. They just need 1 energy, either the fighting or the double turbo. I don't know. I imagine their deck's infinite. 2, have they? Yeah. So they're 4 still stone. So they play. Okay. I mean, the Prime Catcher would have been very nice. Or an energy would be super awesome. All right, gonna draw some, and just see what happens here. Just give me an energy, and I'm happy. What's my Iono situation? I'm out of Ionos. What else do I play? I can't research. Let me draw. I'm trying to think what my other supporters are on deck. Do I play boss? Oh, Earthen Vessel's quite nice. All right, I will. I'll get rid of research because I'm not researching this game, right? And do I have any supporters? Just research. So okay. So I think, do I want to just take I think I take the knockout this turn. If they attach the tool, then they're not confused. So I'll set up the guy with the big damage and just 190. That's great. So I'm a turn in. By next turn, I one-shot if they attach a tool as well. So now I think I'm okay. I'm in a decent spot now. They could hand trimmer me or hand clipper, right? I think I discard down to 5. I think I choose though, so that part's really good. So counter catcher. I mean, okay. So now I need to be careful. Now I need to attack with the Venomoth. I'm pretty certain because I've got to because I don't know that I could be able to get another switch happening for immediately. So if I had a switch or a second energy in hand, I would use this. At this point, I'll just hit into them, item lock them. I think this is the play. If I were to get let me think of a switch. There is another switch in deck. If I hit the switch, all right, let me look in the deck and just see what's there. Let me just take a peek. I do play the switch card. If I hit a switch or an energy, I take the knockout. I think I want to take that risk. I thin the deck. I get closer to decking out. Switch that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So I will switch. And then I can item lock them. If they counter catch me again, then I will item lock them. But just take the knockout. Just get that much closer to right. I've got to take my 6 prizes. That's the way I win this game here. So okay, good. PAL pad would be great in this matchup. Let's see, what's the counter catcher situation? They have 2 more potentially. Trekking shoes. They need double turbo. What's their energy situation? They have 1 double turbo in deck left. They got it. Okay. They don't have the. Okay, well that's huge. They missed it though. Do I need to put a damage counter on this guy? By the way, let me see here. I do, right? I need 1 more damage counter, so I will draw a card, which I don't love that, but that's okay. I needed to get the damage there. So is that what's their tool situation, by the way? Yeah, I don't want to get this other Dodrio ramped up. I don't think so. But I do one-shot them now, so that's very good for me. And now I probably win. This next turn. I think I just win. Right, they'd have to gust me. My retreat cost is 1, right? So the thought behind this deck is they both attack for single energy. The one's colorless, so I can just use the grass for the Venomoth. Don't have to worry about anything else. and they both have a retreat cost of 1 as well, so I can do switching there. So they can't, so they can mill 4, but I just one-shot them, and it just should be game here. So, the combination, a little bit of item lock, which does help me set up, and then hitting in with over time with the Dodrio. Now they're a mill deck, not a knockout deck. They attacked once, but I'm not sure that they quite. There's a little bit in the early mid game that things confused me a little bit with what they played. So anyway, they're choosing, but I think they're choosing. So they can't attack this turn either, right? They're at a double turbo energy, so I think they've just lost. They should know they've lost the game, and at this point, I'd like to see them move faster. Is what I'd say. This is where the time, I don't think it matters what they do here. I just win, right? I mean, they could counter catcher, but again, I retreat and take the knockout. They could play that. They could trim my hand size. Again, it just doesn't matter though, right? So, seems like they're just slow playing at this point, unfortunately, right? Like, which isn't great, The game hasn't gone their way, and now, it just seems like they're just decided to slow play, which is unfortunate there, right? They're taking as long. It seemed like they took as long as they could with their last action, and they're doing that again. And you're just gonna lose. You're gonna lose, and that's okay. Decks, things don't always work. They were, the confusion helped too before they got the tool on. That was very nice. They missed milling at least a turn, maybe 2 turns, and that's a big deal as well. So that could have swung the game. So now I just knock them out, and like I said, unfortunately, my opponent slow played at the end once they realized they couldn't win. At least that's how it appears to me. But my deck worked, and so pleased about that. I like Mill, and I do need to do Great Tusk. I think I've said this before, though. I'm going to wait till Great Tusk gets fixed. I think there's still the problem at the end of the game when your opponent has less than 4 cards that it doesn't work properly, and that's a big problem with that deck. But anyway, Dodrio, Venomoth, the combo worked out that last game. All right, let's see what happens here. Just made some more adjustments to this list as I'm desperately trying to make this deck work. I know this is a sketchy idea. I know that. So I do want to go first because that gives me the best odds of getting things going. But just trying to get it working. Okay, well, didn't really tip my hand with this mulligan. That's good, right? I always like to kind of keep the opponent guessing when you're especially playing something this different, right? It's a this deck is it's a reach, is what I'd say. And see what happens here. So say done. I'm first, right? So okay, Venomoth it is. Oh, this is a very nice starting hand. I'll set up the bench quite nicely. The Venomoth, get probably 2 Doduos down, and maybe okay. And I think do I have, let's think here. Do I have, wait, hang on. 1. Do I have no. I have a barrels prized. Okay, so I'm glad I checked that out because that's a big deal. I don't think I can afford extra copies of those guys, so that's okay. And so the Fluttermane does shut down the ability of the Dodrio when it's in the active, so that's important to remember. Okay, Pokestop. Do I want to? How bad is Pokestop for me in this deck? That's one of those questions to me. I always want to ask. Pokestop's not. A deck like this, it doesn't love Pokestop. It's not. I play 3 rods, so that helps. I play Pokégear, so probably this deck's better than average in terms of using Pokestop. So I probably put Pokestop first, see what I get. Hopefully I can item lock them. So this is Ancient Box, I'm guessing, Could just be Roaring Moon as well. I don't know. Okay, so they didn't really get going. I like that. Like that a lot. So I need energy. Let's see what happens here. Discarding an energy. Okay, that's not ideal. What do I want to get rid of? I'll get rid of the Damage Pump and one Venomoth, right? Yeah, I'll keep 2 Venomoths in play, and I'll grab the Dodrio, because that's what I need. It's unfortunate that the Bibarel was prized, but you know, it's a 1/1 line. You run that risk. That's really all I can say there. Give me an energy, please. I didn't support her yet, right? So that's not a bad get. Let's see what I hit. Give me something. Iono, okay. I take that for sure. Take that for sure. Just 1 energy in the discard, right? So I don't want to, since I desperately need energy, I do not want to use the rod yet. So I have this. I have this. Look, Venomoth is super nice against a Pokestop deck because that means they're built on, oh, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And I'll say another beautiful, right? They're built on items, right? That's what they're built on. So start getting, this is good, start getting things built up here. Going to get them item locked. They're not going to be happy, period. This is good. So get them item locked, and yeah, see how it goes. Now, my opponent's actually weak to me, so I'll be doing 60 to the Roaring Moon. We'll see what happens. So they're confused, and of course, as long as and they're a basic deck, so they can't evolve out of the confusion. That's a plus as well. So that means they're gonna half the time they're gonna fail. So got the Koraidon and him, so they do have their supporter here. But you know, keeping the item lock on is gonna be very important, is what I will say. So if they're able to knock me out, but they're really gonna struggle a bit to set up. I will just kind of keep going here. Save. Research isn't bad. Do I want to research here? Maybe I do. No. This is good. So I can now. So he's gonna do 60, 70. So the idea here is, I mean, I've now set up, this is a beautiful board state for me. I maybe should have researched, but I didn't. And at this point, now that I'm building up my hand, I don't want to research. That's what I will say. It's a lot of energy in hand. I think I want to, I want to threaten the item lock. That's what I want to do. Where I attach signals what I'm thinking. That's part of it, right? So right now they're thinking item lock. Get them not focused on the Dodrio. That's part of what I want happening as well. So you're doing, just keep drawing here. Now I just got to be aware of also how things are going. I do play more Ionos, right? Because I'm starting to build giant hands here, and that could be a concern. All right, Pokégear. Do I want to like Iono here? Do I play 4 Ionos, I think, in deck? So let me look for an Iono. Yeah, Iono, super nice there. They have a bigger hand, so shrink their hand, and yeah, liking this. So 30. So I'm doing 100 here. I still need to keep building up the Dodrios a little bit too. Okay, I didn't hit damage pump. I think I want to keep them item locked. I'm thinking that I'll do that. I'll take the knockout, see what they do here. They could counter catcher, of course, at this point. Take out the Dodrio. This is a nice hand, though. This is a very nice. The Prime Catcher is super nice. So 30 times 120. So 4 times 3. So I'm doing 130. So I need damage pump to get the knockout here. I either want to knock them out or I have to think about this. I either need to knock them out. I mean, I could gust something up and just kind of stall them out too. I could just go the stall route too. I could counter catcher and item lock them. They do have energies to attach, right? But I think I want to. So I'll send him up. If I get the energy switching card, I do have knockout, right? But otherwise, I do not. I mean, the damage mover, right? The damage pump. Iono, which isn't terrible. Just kind of keep. I have the energy here, so I just gotta need to think what I want to do. I think my thought is I want a Prime Catcher this turn. That's kind of how I came into this turn, thinking Prime Catcher was the play, and I might just want to. So I'm going to just lock in this Radiant Greninja, I think, at this point. I'm going to bring up the Radiant Greninja and item lock. I got rid of the Radiant Alakazam with my last modifications to the deck, so let me drop an energy here. Just get these, because I need to be able to one-shot. That's what needs to happen here. So, and confuse them. Maybe I should have kept the Roaring Moon in the active, though, right? Because the good thing about that Roaring Moon in the active, it's confused, right? At this point, though, they can attach. They have to manually attach and retreat. So just maybe I'm thinking. I mean, they can't switch, but they do have energies, right? So just see what they do here. Just keeping the item lock on. They're attached, retreat. Yeah, that wasn't a smart play. They are retreating though. I do like that. So I'm at 5. So I'm at 160 now, right? So I'm at 160, and that's pretty nice, right? So I do one-shot them. So I think it's time to take a prize here. I think taking a prize is a nice play here. And I think I want to set up my board state a little bit more here. So let me get 1, and an energy. And do I want more energies in deck? No. I mean, I could counter catcher as well, but so I have the knockout this turn. That's very good. Get my other rod. I guess I do want this other Venonat in play, right? 4. Do I want 2 more Venonats? What's the energy situation, by the way? 4 energies. I think I want to hold off on this other rod. Do I want to Iono? No, this is a really good hand still. I mean, I'd like an energy, I will say, but I don't want to. I don't want to research that. That's just way too aggressive here. All right, I got a grass energy. All right, this is good. So I'll take the knockout. They're going to knock me out, I assume. And then I have counter catcher available, and so it gives me some options how I want to route this game, right? Am I going for a deck out? Might be the play here, right? So they're going to attach and knock me out. That's what they're going to do, right? All right, heavy ball, see what they grab. They failed that. So Pokestop, okay. I mean, if they bench another Pokemon, Koraidon can probably attack next turn. Although right now he's doing, what, 30? He does 60. He actually does not one-shot the Venomoth. And I think that's the play. I think gust up the Veno. I mean, gust. All right. Well, they have to be careful with decking out. So that's might be my win condition. Okay. Do I just take the knockout this turn? Because I can just knock them out, right? I can item lock or I can knock them out. I think I want to not take the knockout. I want to look the item lock is a deck out scenario, and the best way to pull that off is to keep the pressure on to have where they have to keep getting card. I don't know what they're where they're just having to set up attackers turn after turn, and then I can item lock them for game, right? So at this point, what's their supporter scenario here? Okay, so they take the knockout. I will send up the Dodrio with the energy because I want to be able to attack. He's guaranteed attack. The other Dodrio is, I don't know what it is, right? All right, so what's this energy? So I need energy. So let me play my rod. And I would like to get this other Venomoth as well. Evolve, right? So let me grab this Venomoth. I shouldn't have played that other Venonat. I think that was a mistake too, but let me hopefully grab an energy. That's the goal. Ultra Ball's not bad. I will see. I don't have. I'll get rid of these supporters. Grab this Venomoth, just partly to thin the deck, right? And there's no reason. I'll wait to drop him into play. There's not really a reason not to, I don't think. All right, hit an energy. I'm liking that a lot. So they knock me out. I still have one Dodrio. I could drop down another Doduo. Do I want to do that? I will. I'll just kind of keep my board state going. It also threatens them with more attacks, which is good too. So they, to attack again, now they've got to, well, it depends. They can manually attach, but do they need a supporter, right? Do they need to play one of their supporters? Their supporters dig through most of their deck at this point, right? So that's where they're vulnerable, right? So Sada's Vitality. So they don't have a lot of cards in deck now. So now, I think, do I want to try to item lock him at this point and confuse him? That might be the play, right? Just item lock and confuse. And because I could knock out, but I'm going to send him up. So what do I need? I want these 2 energies, and I want to get... okay, so I'm going to make this play. I want the Dodrio, and I want the energies, right? Those are the cards I want to hit, so I will draw here. They can retreat. They can retreat, which... okay. What do I want to get rid of here? I'll get rid of the 2 Pokégears. I want to evolve into the Dodrio. And I want to draw a card here. If I just go for prizes, I probably come up short. Although, to be honest, I could attack, right? I could attack this turn. Then I'm gonna try. You know what? I think I'm gonna change up my strategy. I think I want to send him up. I'm gonna attack this turn. I decided that gives me the better odds, potentially, right? Because then I can confuse the wrong mood this next turn, right? That's a guarantee. So I got the Bibarel, but it was still only 1 in 3 chance of drawing it. So my point is I could have dropped the Bidoof down, so I would have access to him. So they got the PAL pad, which is crucial for them. 2-sided Vitality. So, okay, so they're really okay. I mean, so Roaring Moon. So I think that gives them game, probably. We'll see what they send up, what they drop down. Are they going to drop down another Pokemon? No, they're thin in their deck, their hand. Okay. Okay, they're just thinning away. I'm kind of surprised by that. So I'm going to item lock. I think they just have game. Right? I assume they're thinning in case Iono. I'm just going to lose this game. I'm pretty certain at this point. So I'm going to counter Catcher and hope that, but all they need is an energy. Well, I think I confused the active, right? Yeah, actually, which is better? I guess confuse the active. It doesn't, I don't know. I mean, because, right, they can retreat to the bench. They need energy in hand, right? And do they have energy in hand? I'm thinking I've kind of lost. Yeah, they must. 3, 4, 5. So they flip tails. So that's really, so they might not have any more energy. In which case, now I can take him out, right? Well, he just gets knocked out, right? Which is good. Maybe good. They need an energy, right? They need an energy. So do they have energy? If they don't have energy, I gust up the Roaring Moon until they deck out, right? So I'm going to gust him up. I'm guessing they don't have the energy at the moment. So they may have energy in deck, though, right? There's 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm trying to think what the deck plays. They just need 1 energy and they can retreat. So they have the Sadas, so this gets them what they need. So they retreat and knock me out. So, and yeah, so once they were thinning with the Ultra Ball, it meant most likely they knew what they had. They were guaranteeing themselves game. And I don't know that I could have, once I was behind on prizes, it became very difficult, right? It became very difficult for me to jump past them, is what I'll say. So obviously I had options there and decisions, and did I make the wrong decision? I might have. I certainly can't, it's certainly a possibility with this deck, but the deck, a single prize matchup gets tricky. It takes a lot of turns to get the damage level up to one-shotting a single prize Pokemon even. So that's a problem. Certainly caused some disruption, made the game close, but the deck came up short, and maybe that's illustrative of where this deck's really at.